Hello, everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to the fourth race of Season 7 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Tropicana Challenge here at Pensacola International Speedway, as we are getting set for 9 laps of racing here at this infield road course of Pensacola's racetrack, and we're going to see how this race is going to turn out. As you see on your screen, a recap of the points after last week at Oswego, as Zachary Fitzwater still holds on to the points lead by 8 points over Rob Evans coming into the race today. And also you are now seeing on your screen the starting lineup for this race here today, as James Shelley gets his first pole of the season, locking himself a spot potentially for the Bud Shootout if he chooses to come back for Season 8. With that being said, let's get the command to fire engines for the Tropicana Challenge at Pensacola.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers rolling around for a half a pace lap, so to speak. After all, it would take a long time to do a full pace lap around this track. But James Shelley, like I said, he's starting on the pole for the race here today, and as far as where he stands in the point standings, he comes into the race 33rd in points, well, tied for 32nd. Not had the best of starts so far here in Season 7, but maybe with him being on the pole here at Pensacola, maybe it'll be a big turnaround for him going forward. Meanwhile, the driver starting outside of him in second, Benjamin Miles, 7th in points, and he's the highest driver in the standings who has yet to score a top 10 finish. So he's been a little more consistent between the 11th and 15th spots on track. Perhaps he can get his first top 10 or even top 5 or win here today. So that is the front row for you. James Qualls, he, if I recall, he won a road course race last season, and it was at Denver, in probably the most bizarre way you could win a race in the history of this series. He comes into the race 15th in points, about 43 points out of the lead, so he's not far behind. And then starting outside of him is Joshua Sekuli, who comes into this race 13th in points, as he got a good finish at Oswego last week. And then rounding out the top 5 I see is Melissa Alexander. But it's time for the green flag, ladies and gentlemen. Boogity, 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 let's go racing. close at the line somewhat, but James Shelley led that lap as we got a 4-car train up here at the front of the field. And because remember, the actual racetrack of Pensacola is a restrictor plate track, super speedway I should say, but we are racing the road course. Meanwhile, we got 4 drivers fighting for the race lead. Benjamin Miles actually took the spot for now, but 3 wide going into turn 3. And it looks like Henry Sanford's going to get the advantage as he's going to take the race lead for now. What a move going into turn 3 by Henry Sanford, using the middle line and actually having it pay off as he now leads this race. But Benjamin Miles not too far behind. In fact, almost everyone in the top 10's bunched up together in some way, shape, or form. As I'm looking around to see how they are running, but yeah, Henry Sanford currently leads as we are on lap 2 out of 9. Yeah, this is a 9-lap event, but pit stops will perhaps be a factor when we get into the later stages of the race. And considering it takes about 2.5 minutes to make a lap around this track, we still got a long way to go despite the lap count. Yeah, for those wondering, yeah, we decided to do away with the endurance time limit stuff because those were always a pain in the rear end to figure out. So we're just going to go back to just laps at the track, and that's pretty much all that it's going to be. But yes, Henry Sanford still holding on to the race lead for now. As we wait, well, now they're getting ready to come back on to the super speedway portion of the racetrack. So let's see if anybody's going to work together in a draft to try and catch up to the back end of the 09 of Henry Sanford. Right now, Benjamin Miles has no help, but he is closing in a little bit on Henry Sanford because he's actually catching up to the rear end via the draft. Meanwhile, we got a battle going on for third between Melissa Alexander and James Shelley, and then behind them, James Qualls and Jay Jefferson battling for a spot in the top 5. Where in the world is Henry Sanford? Oh, they're pitting already. Cars are coming into pit road as early as lap 3, the start of lap 3, so yeah, pit stops are going to be quite rampant in this race as Benjamin Miles leads, but comes down into Melissa Alexander, who nearly comes down into James Qualls, who himself comes down into Jay Jefferson. That could have been a major accident going into turn 3. I was trying to figure out where in the world was Henry Sanford at, and Benjamin Miles actually led that lap as a result. And it looks like there was only just a few cars that came in the pit road, and they were Henry Sanford, Julia Katrine. Looks like Cole Baker, Jake Rogers, and Jordan Forbes. And Jordan Forbes is still on pit road. And I think, yeah, the rear end of that car looks a little crooked. I don't know what's wrong with that car. I don't know if he got into it with somebody or what, but he's still on pit road. And I think I may know who the culprit was. Look at the hood of Chris Dollarton's machine. It's a little buckled up. So, yeah, maybe Chris Dollarton and Jordan Forbes got together somewhere on the track. Although Johnny Gardner's rear end looks a little bit strange. Same with Seth Cole. So there must have been some beating and banging going on here in the back of the field somewhere. Hence why Jordan Forbes perhaps is still on pit road. Well, now he's finally out of pit road after a long stay. As meanwhile, back up at the front, they're coming out of the infield back onto the actual racetrack. Benjamin Miles still holding on to the lead for now, at least. But you gotta wonder if he's gonna come into pit road this time, or is he going to try and make it a 2-stop race? Let's watch this. Nope, he's coming in and everyone else is following suit. Anybody going to risk it and stay out is the question. Looks like Rafael LeDuc's going to be the man to take the gamble and stay out another lap. But yeah, it looks like literally everyone except for Rafael LeDuc elected to come into pit road. I almost wonder if LeDuc wanted to come to pit road, but just couldn't because he was stuck on the outside of a 3-wide situation. But nonetheless, LeDuc currently holds the race lead. Now, this could be genius strategy on the part of Rafael LeDuc, because if everyone else has to pit again, which I know they're all going to have to pit again at some point, perhaps on laps 5 and 6, maybe even going through lap 7 into lap 8, Rafael LeDuc could actually have a stronger fuel tank and actually save enough to only make it a one-stop race for himself and maybe pull out the win from his rear end. I don't know, but it's an interesting situation nonetheless that LeDuc would stay out another lap in hopes of potentially getting a strategy win, as meanwhile, out of the cars that just came off pit road, Benjamin Miles gets out ahead, followed by Melissa Alexander, Jay Jefferson, Henry Sanford, and James Qualls. They were the ones that got out of the first 5 of that last group of cars to come to pit road. As meanwhile, Rafael LeDuc just continuing to stay out on the racetrack. Though you gotta wonder, perhaps because if he perhaps wanted to come to pit road, perhaps if he wanted to come to pit road last lap by, maybe he doesn't have enough fuel to even make it to pit road. I don't know, but we're gonna stay with him, and I'm gonna keep listening to his engine to make sure he still has enough to at least make it to pit road. So far, he's still running up to speed and finally getting onto the actual racetrack. As we still got a long way to go in this race. We're not even really at the halfway point. Perhaps now we're halfway through, as we're halfway through lap 4 out of 9. And now LeDuc's going to finally come into pit road to top off on gas. Now, like I said, you got to wonder if perhaps he's going to be the man in the catbird seat to potentially win this race on fuel mileage. Meanwhile, we got a little cluster fighting for second currently. Benjamin Miles has the spot, but Henry Sanford's trying to take the spot away. And remember, Henry Sanford actually, now that I remember, he actually was the leader when he came into pit road on lap 2 going to lap 3. But Henry Sanford, perhaps, as I'm watching the difference of speed between the leaders and Rafael LeDuc, and yeah, they're going to pass LeDuc with ease. So LeDuc, for now, at least he's hoping on a fuel mileage gamble to try and get the win. Because right now, it looks like these 4 right here, Henry Sanford in the 09, Benjamin Miles in the 22, Jay Jefferson in the 5, and Melissa Alexander in the 28, are going to be the ones to fight it out for the win, as they are 2 by 2. Henry Sanford trying to use the outside to get more speed, but Benjamin Miles with that inside line trying to get that started to make the pass on Henry Sanford to take the lead back, and he clears him, at least for now. So the full field rundown as it stands right now: Benjamin Miles is your race leader, second is Henry Sanford, third is Jay Jefferson, fourth is Melissa Alexander, fifth James Qualls, sixth is Joshua Sekuli, seventh Joey Parkhill, eighth Dylan Jacobs, ninth Alyssa Drayson, 10th Cody Lammers. 11th is James Shelley, 12th is Rafael LeDuc, 13th Ryan Acosta, 14th Carson Gum, 15th DJ Curtis, 16th is Zachary Fitzwater, 17th is Jonathan Zorleen, 18th is Raphael Fireblade, 19th Matt McIntyre, 20th Hannah Klein, 21st is Cole Deaver, 22nd Kyle Matthews, 23rd Artur Castanha, 24th Michael Norman, 25th Clint Spillman, 26th is Jesse Turner. 27th, Ricky Carmen. 28th, Charles Sanford. 29th, Caleb Kilburn. 30th, Zach Rogers. 31st is Jessica Sheldon. 32nd, Julia Katrine. 33rd, Cole Baker. 34th, Dylan Young. And then 35th is Johnny Gardner. Then currently the bottom 5 are Rob Evans, Jake Rogers, Seth Cole, Chris Dollarton, and Jordan Forbes. Back up here at the front, however, the leaders have got back onto the actual racing surface as Benjamin Miles still leads the way. Now, let's watch Henry Sanford right here, because remember, he pitted on lap 2 going into lap 3. We're on lap 5 going into lap 6. Yes, he is coming down, so he clearly does not have enough gas to make it to the end, and he might even, well, I don't know, I think he might be able to make it to the rest of the race, as he sacrifices currently a spot in the top 5, as look at Joshua Sakuli, he's come out of nowhere, and now he's going to take the lead. Joshua Sakuli was shuffled to the back of the top 10 for a good chunk of the race, and now finds himself up here at the front. 6 cars fighting for the lead. Sakuli, Jefferson, Parkhill, Alexander, Qualls, and Miles. And funny enough, both of Zev Bellringer Enterprises cars, Parkhill and Alexander, are up here battling for position. But look who else is quietly working his way into the battle, and that's Dylan Jacobs in the 7th position. He's been slowly catching up into this whole shebang up here at the front of the field, but Jay Jefferson currently holding on to the race lead for the time being. But he's got a Ford train right behind him, 3 Fords right behind. But look at Sakuli diving into the bottom to make a pass for the lead. Can he clear him off of this corner? No, he doesn't have him cleared, and Jefferson's actually going to get the better line through this corner. And Joey Parkhill's actually put his nose underneath of the 00, trying to put himself into that battle for the race lead as well. Parkhill, at least for now, trying to get up to 2nd, and whoa, Jefferson kind of went through that corner a little bit too fast, and it kind of cost him a little bit of time, as Joshua Sakuli currently leads the way here at Pensacola. But remember, as Henry Sanford came in the pit road, we're about to get our second and perhaps final round of pit stops. But remember, the one guy you want to keep an eye out for is Rafael Leduc. Let's see where he is. There he is in the 62. He stayed out the longest. So I feel like if this were to come down to a fuel mileage run, he's going to be the one to perhaps keep an eye out for winning this race. Let's see if any of the leaders are coming in this time. Yes, they are coming in. Looks like, oh, Benjamin Miles actually going to take a gamble and stay out another lap. Oh, Leduc, he decided to come in with everyone. I don't know if that was a smart move on the part of Rafael Leduc. I would have assumed he was going to stay out another lap to try and stretch his fuel tank out for the rest of the race, but I guess he decides to come in the pit road with the majority of the field, as Benjamin Miles gets back to the lead, as he's now currently the one by himself trying to make a fuel mileage win work. But I feel like he doesn't have enough to make it to the end. He's going to have to come in within the next lap or 2. In fact, when we get across the line, it will be 2 laps to go here in the Tropicana Challenge. But out of the drivers that just came in the pit road, Sakuli gets out ahead, then Parkhill, Jefferson, Lamas, and Qualls. Bliss Alexander didn't have a great pit stop, as she lost quite a few positions. Henry Sanford, I see in frame back there, trying to blend in with the rest of the field. Oh, he gets in the Fitzwater. That's going to really cost Henry Sanford. He just ran right into the points leader for no reason at all. And now that's going to cost him a shot at winning this race. I don't know about what the 09 just did right there, but I think he just cost himself a shot at winning this race by doing that, by running into the right side of Zachary Fitzwater's car. And they're side by side now. Fitzwater wouldn't be too happy right now with the 09. I wouldn't be happy with him if I was Fitzwater, but I don't know. Fitzwater's just letting him go, and now Fitzwater trying to take a position away from Alyssa Drayson. I'm not sure what spot that would be for currently. Meanwhile, we got a side-by-side battle, or at least it was side-by-side, between James Qualls and Cody Lamas. Now, Dylan Jacobs, kind of got loose off of the corner, but still maintaining speed, trying to take a position away from Cody Lamas. And he's going to take the spot. Meanwhile, Sekuli's got a bit of a margin going for himself, as now Benjamin Miles elects to come into pit road. So now this is the moment of truth. Can he get out ahead of Joshua Sekuli's just now getting onto the actual racetrack? But let's see about Benjamin Miles. Is he going to take gas only, or 2 tires, or 4 tires? Let's watch his pit stop. So far he's going with 2 tires. There's Sekuli in the middle of the final corners. Benjamin looks like he went with 2 tires and gas, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold off Sekuli, as there he is. Miles, yeah, he's going to get passed by Joshua Sekuli, so Miles' strategy may not have worked out to his benefit, unless by some miracle he just has a bad fast car and manages to catch up to the 00, but I just don't know if that's going to happen. Sekuli now with the lead, as side-by-side for second between Joey Parkhill and Jay Jefferson. Parkhill trying to make the move, and now he's there to the inside. Although Benjamin Miles, because he now has fresher left side tires, perhaps he can catch up to the 5 and the 38 at least. But Joshua Sekuli currently in the catbird seat to win this race. Chris Dollerton finally getting out of pit road himself. One crucial thing that the drivers behind Sekuli are going to have to do is kind of work together in a draft once they get back onto the actual racetrack out of the road course infield and try and run down the 00. But man, what a bunch of great runs we're seeing out of some guys. Little cluster right here fighting for what looks like the 4th position between Benjamin Miles, James Qualls, and Henry Sanford, as they are fighting it out for position on the racetrack. Joey Parkhill still doing a great job at holding off Jay Jefferson for the time being. Joshua Sekuli, he's just trying to make sure he keeps his car up at the front, as he is now getting ready to get back onto that actual super speedway. Now let's watch the 38 and the 5 and see if they can get together in a draft and run down the 00 before they get back into the infield. But Sekuli has done a really fantastic job all day of keeping his car clean. Let's watch as they're coming off the final corner. White flag is going to be displayed for Joshua Sekuli. White flag for the Tropicana Challenge. He leads by less than a second and a quarter over the 38 and the 5, but they're battling for second. I don't think that's a smart move, even though they are going faster by about 7 miles per hour, so they still might be able to catch the 00 before they get to the road course part of the track. I don't know, they're going to have to really go for it here. But Parkhill splits from him as he's trying to get up to second, and they were able to catch the 00 for a moment. But I don't know, that might have just sealed the deal as these two continue to race it out for the second position. like I said, wasn't a very smart decision, as they could have worked together a little longer to get to the back bumper of the 00, and it could have been a bigger battle for the win. But Jefferson still trying to get clear of Joey Parkhill, but Parkhill is saying, "Nuh-uh, buddy." Parkhill's still within reach of the 5, so we'll see if he still has something for Jefferson to get to second, but unless some crazy voodoo magic happens, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to pass Sekuli, even though I just saw Sekuli kind of wiggle or slide the car a little bit off of that corner. Meanwhile, the closest battle I see on track right here, it looks like for the... I don't know if it's for the 11th position or not, but it's between Jonathan Zorline and Zachary Fitzwater, as they are battling hard for position outside the top 10. But all Sekuli's got to do is just stay running clean, keeping his line, and he will get the win here. As they are getting ready to approach the Super Speedway again for the final time here on the final lap. Joshua Sekuli trying to go for his first win of Season 7, a former series champion, might I add. And I can't remember off the top of my head which season it was. I want to say either Season 3 or Season 4, I want to say. Even though Jefferson's trying, oh, he's closing in fast. Oh, this could be a photo finish at the line. Holy cow! Jay Jefferson! Where in the world did he come from? He just caught the draft of Joey Parkhill from behind, and it pushed him past Joshua Sekuli, and we had a close finish at the line. Jay Jefferson, from out of nowhere, wins the Tropicana Challenge at Pensacola. What a finish. I was certainly not expecting that at all, but holy cow, what in the world? Jay Jefferson just pulled off probably the move of the season so far, with the push from Joey Parkhill to push him past Joshua Sekuli to get his first win of Season 7. Wow. That was amazing. But now that with that said, let's take a look at the rest of the results. Joshua Sekuli thought he had it in the bag, but all of a sudden he just had no idea the 5 car was coming and just comes up short of the win, but still a great effort nonetheless by the 00 team. Joey Parkhill, similar fashion, another great effort put together as he finishes strong in 3rd. James Qualls with another great finish on a road course, finishing in 4th. Benjamin Miles' strategy did not pan out as far as getting the win, but he does get his first top 5/10 of the season as he finishes in 5th. Ryan Acosta, the highest finishing rookie here today, finishing in the 6th position. Melissa Alexander with a great run in 7th. Solid run for Dylan Jacobs in 8th. Alyssa Drayson, great run in 9th. And then rounding out the top 10 is the points leader, Zachary Fitzwater. And somehow Henry Sanford wrecked. I don't know what happened with him, but it says he's retired. But there's your top 20, then there's your top 30. And Jake Rogers apparently took his car over the wall too, but the bottom 5 for this week was Johnny Gardner, Seth Cole, Jake Rogers again, Chris Dollarton, and Jordan Forbes. So tough break for all of those guys. But congratulations to Jay Jefferson as you're watching now the burnout he performed after the race. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching the Tropicana Challenge. Next time, we head to Atlanta for the Golden Corral 500. But it's a different version of Atlanta that we're accustomed to. Thank you for watching. This is Levi McIntyre, as I'm here to say here are your results, rookie points, and regular points heading into Atlanta, as well as the awards. Levi McIntyre, signing off.